So you may be thinking to yourselves, what is the crazy idiot doing this time? Now, this is a Citreon dispatch. Well, it was a better Citreon dispatch just before Christmas. Now, it will have gone through your head thinking, that is an 0607 free for Citreon dispatch. Why on earth would he be repairing that? Well, this is where the story starts. So this Citreon dispatch belongs to Claire, who is the owner of Campervan that we're getting on with. Friend of Dom's. Bless his heart. And she is a dog walker. So Dom spent an awfully large amount of time, about 5 years ago, converting this twin side-loading doored van into a dog walking van. So it has lots of properly built dog cages in the back of it. And it has been, because Claire is a bit of a vehicle tester, very reliable until so basically just before Christmas Claire managed to crash this into the back of a Nissan Qashqai driven by a cross-dressing Chinese man that didn't speak English. But unbelievably, it does obviously still run and drive. And it may look appalling, but it's not actually that bad. So it was all a bit traumatic because she was in a bit of a flap, so she phoned the insurance company asking for recovery. They thought they were the AA, so then told her she was an idiot and to go away, not realising that what she needed to tell them was she'd actually had an accident and she needed her vehicle recovering. So that brought on full flap. So then we had to dispatch Simon to go and collect it from the side of the road, which meant it ended up here. Then the insurance company the next day figured out quite what was going on, and it's been here ever since. They did try to collect it 3 times, take it away and scrap it, and we said to Claire, look, we have had a minor assess on it. I don't think it's actually that bad. If it was just a boring, normal white van, you wouldn't bother. But them dog cages took ages, and trying to take them out and put them in another vehicle, another one of these, with twin slide loading doors and side windows and all the stuff that you couldn't really find on one. And this is the earlier one of this. I think this is a Mark III in it. I don't know much about Citreon dispatches, Peugeot Peugeot experts, Fiat, whatever they are. This is the one with a good HDI, 2 litre, works perfectly, even now. Still holds coolant. Intercooler might have bought the farm. That it was probably easier to try and repair this than it was to take dog cages out and put them in another one. And I mean, this is its second write-off of last year, because there is a bit just here where an old lady drove out of a side road as Claire was driving past, drove straight into it just here. So that wrote it off early last year, and she got paid out on it, and then it's just been written off again. I don't know whether you can write a vehicle off twice. And it looks like the Chinese transvestite might actually do this crash for cash thing as a living. So the insurance company were well onto him, because apparently he's had 5 rearward shunts, excuse the pun, in the last 10 months. So what we're going to do today, we're going all salvage rebuilds. Obviously we don't look like Chris or Rob. I haven't got teeth like that. And Chris is probably definitely a much more capable panel beater than me. But we are going to today strip this to assess 1, what is bent, 2, what is salvageable, and 3, what I need to acquire. Because you will see that there are bits of it falling off all over the place. So, oh dear. So we're gonna strip it down and see what the damage is done, and then we'll figure out what we need to find, because there are loads of these dead. So finding the white front, I mean, luckily enough, it does look like the coated bumper panels have survived. I don't even need to find a bumper in the right colour. Right. So obviously what we have got here is quite a lot of broken plastic stuff. Now, I am pretty convinced that this crash bar has had it. Now, it has done a bit of a tugger on the end of this chassis leg, but I don't think it's bent it terribly badly. It's just ruined the bracket on the end of it. because everything is sort of where it needs to be. There's a bit of a dint in here, but I don't think it's moved it terribly far. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go on the time lapses and see if we can get rid of the rest of this, get in here and see what we need, what's salvageable, what's not. It'll be fine. Right, so not terribly bad. It obviously had a bit of an oil leak, so we'll need to sort that out because that intercooler, which is buggered anyway, is an oily mess. So obviously the front grills and the top rad panel cover plate dead. Radiator support panel, that has died along with that fan. This bumper is definitely dead. Two headlights have got all the brackets snapped off of them. You could faff around sticking them back on. They won't be expensive. We'll get 2 second-hand ones. Intercooler, that has died. It's got a big hole in it, and it wasn't doing much intercooling anyway due to the oil leak that's here that we're going to have to sort anyway. One radiator fan survived, and I think the crash member is dead. So basically, we've got a bit of a thunker on the end here. It's bent it that way, but that's what hammers are for. So I think we can knock that. It hasn't bent the chassis leg. It's caught it, pulled it out here. It hasn't tweaked the leg at all. It's just pulled the bracket off. So that'll put that back where it needs to be. It has squashed in the front of the drop support here. See, this one's, but to be honest, it hasn't bent it. It's just squished it in, so I think we'll try and tap that out a bit. It's not critical. Subframe has survived. Radiator has survived. So I don't think we're going to need killer amounts of stuff to fix it. Obviously, the bonnet is done. We know that because it's bent all the way, but it might as well stay on there for a minute until we get a new one. Stop water pouring in here. So I'm going to get beating on the end of these two chassis legs with a large hammer, professionally like, and try and knock these brackets back where they need to be, because it's bent this one that way, and then if you look in here, it's literally just pulled the bend over out, so we should be able to tap that back where it needs to be. This wheel arch liner has survived enough to reuse it. Same with this one. We're not going for Lamborghini Gallardo mint here. We're going for serviceable, usable. So in a minute, we're going to whip this back out of here, block this pipe off up here, steamer this to death so we're nice and clean. Decide what we do with that dink. We might even leave that crease because, to be honest, it's not massively structural and it is where it should be. It's just a bit reshaped. So we're not going to spend hours because it's structurally sound, it's good, it's just a bit bent. What do they call it? Budget sensitive rebuilding. So I need to get on the interwebs, find all of that, one of them, figure out what the oil leak is, clean the radiator, clean all this. Actually, no, we'll need a radiator, possibly because that's the bottom radiator mounting bracket. Because that ain't mounted to anything anymore, is it? We'll consider our options there. We'll save that just in case we do need to stick that back on. See how much a rad is. They're probably not expensive. Bonza! So you'll see a bit of a close-up on this bracket. So this chassis leg, I don't think that's dent. I think that's factory. And then you'll see it hasn't actually bent the leg. It's just bent this round, so we need to knock this back square. It hasn't even actually pulled it off its spot welds. I think that can straighten out. And then there's a dent in this member below, so you've got a big section through the back here and this cover on the front. That's going to need a bit of tapping out, but it isn't bad. It hasn't moved this structural mounting point because this is where the subframe picks up, so that's that side. And the same here, look, it's just literally knocked it round. There's the chassis leg, so that's still square. It needs this beating back in that way, so we're going to do this quickly, bash these up with a bit of wood, see if we can get them somewhere near square, and then we'll take this thing outside and give it the mother of all steams, so we're not working with bits of broken, gooey, oily van. Right, well, 10 minutes and a bit of bashing, so I've got those back pretty much where they want to be. Bit of fettling, obviously. It's not terribly subtle, and then we'll see if we can just doink that out there. But what I'm going to do now is go L for leather outside, clean all this off because it's a bit gooey, and then we're on the parts order, and then we'll swap this over for the next vehicle for the day. So job 2 of the day. Well, job 2 of the day is done at the same time as me stripping a van, wasn't it? Yep. I've just assisted you.
Indeed.
So this is Monkey. Monkey is the owner of Trigger, the Hateful Transit. How is Trigger, the Hateful Transit?
Working.
Perfectly. Ever since we got rid of that fucking shitty piece of software that had killed it. Don't even need to touch that piece of wood. That was all that trouble for all those years, wasn't it?
Trouble, hopefully, averted.
Diverted, yeah. So this is your 4.2 turbo diesel 80 series Land Cruiser.
Indeed.
Proper truck.
Indeed.
Indeed. So Toyota number 2 of the family. Well, technically this was the first one, but you have got a shiny Hilux as well, haven't you?
I have.
Right. So we've had problems with this thing leaking fuel for about 2 years? Maybe a little bit longer.
No, not that long.
Not that long?
No. Year?
Has it been a year?
I reckon.
So basically this truck, Japo import, so this is a 12 valve. It's the last of the 12s, isn't it? I think, because they go 24 not long after this.
95?
95? I can't remember the number. Yeah. So this is 94, isn't it?
It's 95 or 96?
95, no, yeah, because my last one was a 24, wasn't it? That big green, it was the same as this. Anyway, this truck has a cold overfuel on the side of the pump, doesn't it?
It did.
Well, it did. It don't have no more, which is, it was always been the cause of the leak, because the thing is worn. I mean, because this is no low mileage truck, but there ain't no such thing as a low mileage one of these. They don't need to be low mileage. They do more miles than the Starship Enterprise without going wrong, don't they?
Exactly.
So, you got another fuel pump from Saudi Arabia, didn't you?
Somewhere like that, yeah.
Dubai, which turned up, and then that didn't have an overfuel, did it?
No.
So we thought we were going to change the pump, and then we realised that you can actually unbolt the overfuel, take it off, take the blank plate off the non-overfuel pump, and seeing as we're not in Arctic conditions, it don't need cold rev up really, does it?
No.
So we've screwed the blanking plate on the side of the engine, taken the thermostatic overfuel off, and in theory, it should work. Go and hit it. And not leak fuel. It definitely works, and it definitely don't leak fuel.
Excellent.
Marvellous. That was simpler than changing an entire injection pump, wasn't it?
Indeed.
And I think you can survive without the cold rev up thing.
The next job you can do on it's a turbo.
Well, yes, you've got to buy all the bits, haven't you?
I have.
So we need an alley
and an intercooler.
We need an alley sport intercooler, a hybrid turbo, and a new manifold because it's turbo cracked on the manifold. Manifold. Oh, that'll be all right, won't it? Right. So this, you could buy some bonnet gas struts.
Yeah, them as well. Before you shut that down.
Oh yeah, hang on, I hooked that.
Fuck.
Oh, you've broken it. No, that because I hooked that behind there earlier on. Sits down in there.
It did.
Well, yeah, you've just broken the plastic clip off. It can sit there, can it?
It'll have to.
Right. On it, gas struts.
Yes.
Next one. So harmonious running noises of a Land Cruiser in the back. That's just leaving. This is all steamed off. We're going to let it dry out. Now, I reckon the list of parts I'm going to need. This radiator is pretty battered. I'm going to get a new one. I need the front support crash bar. I'm quite happy with these 2 tap back chassis legs. I need to pull that out. This bottom wing bracket here has actually been pulled in, and this wing is pretty battered from its last old lady driving in the side of it. So I think best I need a wing, a bonnet, a bumper, a radiator support panel, a radiator, some cooling fans. I can probably buy that all in. The front grille has obviously died. That is smashed. It's out there. So I need a lower grille, an upper grille. The easy grills are much easier for these vehicles. The next generation of this, they're poisonously expensive, but luckily this is an early one, so it's cheaper. I need to just pull this out. You can see there's a bit of a crease and a dink there, but it's all light tin. Decide what to do with that down there. And then basically find where this oil leak was coming from. Noisy compressor in the background, marvellous. So I'd covered the intake up before I steam cleaned it, before anyone says it. So we're going to put this out of the way. Oh look, there's that. Lovely. And get ordering some bits. So what we're going on to next is another familiar friend that we'll bring in here in a minute that's also behaving. So, if you follow the channel a while, you will recognise this vehicle. This is the Mark 8 Transit we rebuilt the engine on that exploded just on 78,000 miles, went poof, and shut itself. It's now done just on 100. We've had no mechanical problems with it since. It has been perfect. 20,000 miles, no oil leaks, no engine problems, no injector problems, no nothing. It has behaved perfectly. And it is only here today because the wing mirror has fell off again. It's a bit of a transit thing. Touch it on a hedge, gone. And although it has recently passed its MOT, there are no play in either wheel bearing or any rumblingness apart from this one that about 30 miles an hour makes a really annoying noise. I think it's this one. I'm going to have to doubly check because you can't really tell. I'm sure I've done that one. So what I'm going to very quickly do now is put yet another wing mirror on it and throw a wheel bearing on it. You don't really need to see that, but it's working perfectly. Where's a bit of wood? Hang on, bit of wood. Yes, perfectly. Ta-da! How long does it take to do a transit wheel bearing? About 25 minutes. That's easy. So this one was the noisy one, wing mirror. Thank you, Ford. Because what Ford did is design these wings as rubbish and fall off all the time. So instead of making it so that you can unplug them from the outside, you take it off and free 10mm nuts on the inside, comes out. Can't get the plug. Plug's down in the door, down in there. So I'd take the door card off. If they made it like, how much longer? Could change the wing mirror on a commercial vehicle from the outside in 10 minutes. That would have been too bloody complicated, wouldn't it? Anyway, don't talk to me about the clanky noise either. That's just part of owning a Transit. I'll put that back outside and then we're going to get the next thing in. So, the long awaited, this is going to be a pain in the hole to fix, 645 CI with 2 owners, full Mercedes, full BMW service history, 109,000 miles on the clock, or 107, can't really remember, haven't looked, did look 10 seconds ago, but can't remember now. This coolant pipe broke, it overheated a bit, and that popped that head gasket. Not that we can just do that head gasket. So what we're going to do in the next month, because this is competition price, is rebuild that, new head gaskets. It's an alley block 4.4 litre V8. That'll be fun. Polish it, clean it, fix these horrible black painted grills, have the wheels redone because they're quite spanky but they could look spankier. Clean it to death, service it, MOT it, make it look shiny. So the Kangoo will have ended by the time you watch this video, because we are filming this on a Saturday and the draw is this evening, but you'll be watching this on a Sunday morning. So next on 645 CI, you get to follow us for a month and a bit maybe, because this is going to be technical, and then it will be beautiful and you can win it. Sadly, it don't come with an Arab's bank account because it is a bit heavy on the fuel side apparently, but it's very fast. It's very fast. Thank you very much, Al. 6D Diesels.